Welcome to More Than a Parent, a podcast exploring who we are and what we want outside of being a parent, so we can create an integrated lifestyle with impact both in and out of our homes. I'm Kaz Goddess, and I invite you to join me to be your more, live your and. Welcome to More Than a Parent. I'm Kaz Goddess, a personal power coach for parents, specifically moms who are wanting to live their more, be their and. What that means specifically is that I coach moms intentionally to create inner aligned lifestyles that energize both their presence as parents and also actualize who they are in their personal power. So what's important about this episode is this is pure power, guys. Before I even go into that piece, let me share with you a little bit about, I guess, everything going on. So we are obviously in a pandemic globally as a community. We are feeling it in all sorts of ways. There's a lot of different energies going around, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with the term empath. Usually it's someone that, not usually, but what it is it's someone who kind of feels all the feels, not just their own, but of others. And I think I underestimated how much of an empath I am, because up until last week, for a few days, I was feeling almost paralyzed. I was feeling all the feels going on globally, going on in the community, in other communities that I'm part of moms, everybody. This is affecting everyone. And so I was in a place where it wasn't like I was depressed. I've been there before, I know what that feels like. It was more of paralyzed by the feelings and then just kind of going through the motions of the day. If you resonate with this, if you've ever been in a situation like that, you know it is, you can get lost in that, right? Like you can just continue to go just through the motions instead of showing up. And so I allowed myself to have a space of feeling that, of being in that for a few days, because it obviously needed to come out. And so I did that piece, and then I told myself, okay, cool. I've been here before where I've allowed myself to feel something for a certain amount of time, and what is the next thing now, right? Because when we are feeling paralyzed, especially how easily that is as moms, as parents in this time that we're in, we have a choice. So feel the feels so that they are felt and not just continue to be submerged, because they will pop up again, and likely in situations and in ways that you prefer them not to. But looking like, okay, cool. So my choices are, I can stay paralyzed. I can stay in just going through the motions in a way that's not serving anyone, especially not yourself. And then you're adding to the noise of the things that aren't serving anybody. Or I can choose to allow that fear to fuel my power. And so be empowered in that pause, right? So that pause to feel the things, that pause to then be like, in a place of reflection for what is possible. And so I started to choose, obviously, to be empowered in that. And I was able to not only connect more to myself. When you have moments that you allow yourself to have higher consciousness and you kind of flex that higher awareness in yourself, you're also able to see more potential, more possibilities, more opportunity. And so I thought, okay, cool. So what is the next best thing in the situation? How can I be part of something that empowers somebody else, especially if you're feeling in any way, shape, or form anxious or fear-filled or paralyzed, just in all the things, right? And so I reached out over the last week and a half. I reached out to several moms that I know, and then I also opened it up to the greater community to share some productivity tips, and I'll also be doing another episode with self-care tips. And so with this episode being the productivity one, we are in a place now where most of us are home with our kids. We're having to figure out homeschool like we've never had to do before. We're also having to be productive by either bringing our work home with us if we were working from out of the house, or now our business and our normal flow may be looking different with everybody at the house. there's a lot of incomes being lost. There is a lot of different uncertainties going on, right? But amidst it all, there is, if you choose to see it, there is possibility, there is opportunities, there is a moment to regather, to reframe for yourself, for your family, and then what does that mean like overall, right? So I asked these moms to share tips on either productivity or on self-care that could really serve us right now during this pandemic that we're in, because that way we can start contributing voices of empowerment, of possibility, versus just hearing a lot of the negative pieces, which some of it is definitely real, but we don't have to fully focus on that. Otherwise it consumes us in a negative way. And again, not that it's wrong to feel quote unquote negative emotions. I don't believe in negativity. I really believe that those things, I call it, a certain group of us, we call it catabolic energy, which is just a type of energy that can fuel you. You have to feel it. It's part of being human, but you don't have to be sucked into the kind of like the winding piece of it consuming you in a bad way. So anywho, so for the resources shared today, this is going to be an interesting podcast. We're going to have a bunch of people joining us and sharing with us productivity for the now, productivity for this uncertainty that we're in. If you go to kazgoddess.com, that's KazGaddis.com, /podcast, you'll see all of it there. And specifically for this episode, if you go to kazgoddess.com /EO09, that's for episode 009, that'll be the one here that we're going to be sharing on productivity. In that website, we'll also have the show notes as far as everyone's information. They all are sharing different freebies, different resources that'll all be available for you there. And there is a mega download with a bunch of everything that everyone is sharing. I'm calling it More Than a Parent Roundup Guide. So you'll be able to access that there.
Hi, I'm Kristy Marie from BlueveilWellness.com and AlaskaMomLife.com. I am a women's hormone and wellness coach, also mom of two, and I also work outside the home. Being more than a parent means not losing your identity as a person. In fact, who you are enhances you as a parent. You are a partner, a friend, boss, home ninja, entrepreneur, and CEO of your business and your life. Outside of that, you bring your uniqueness and your special gift to this world by making it a better place. Your children look up to you. You are their hero and role model. I want my children to grow up as kind, honest, smart, and hardworking people with compassion. But hard work comes with a price, though. As parents, we have to find the balance between putting too much time in our work and not neglecting the precious chances we have to create good memories with our families. The key is to remember your why. Why do you want to accomplish what you are working on? It is more challenging to be a parent and business owner. You have to prioritize one over the other at times, and often you sacrifice your own health or self-care. It is important to take care of yourself and your health. So what does self-care mean to you? Is it having alone time to read a book? Is it more spa time? Or is it time to go work out? Or just simple uninterrupted time to do whatever you choose, as long as you don't choose work? The strategies for self-care include you actually schedule it. Make it happen. Don't think, oh, okay, later on I'll do it. Actually set a time and schedule it and put it on your calendar. Set yourself up for success so you don't come back from de-stressing and jumping into another stressful situation. Also look at our expectations. You are a unique individual. You're one of a kind. You can't expect everyone to be as awesome as you. So for more self-care tips, I invite you to check out AlaskaMomLife.com and BlueveilWellness.com.
Hey everybody, I'm Dan Beldowich with Wake Up on Purpose, coming to share some tips and tricks on how to stay productive, present, and still be a parent at the same time. I know times are crazy right now. The kids are home and everybody might be going a little bit mad. So here are a couple of different ways that I really, while I'm at home, make sure that I'm staying productive, staying present, know that they need what they need, I need what I need, and we all get that in without going absolute crazy. My biggest thing is really about creating a schedule around you. And it's really about co-authoring the schedule with your kids so that they're involved in it. They need to have buy-in. They need to know what's going on. They have a structure when they're going to school. They know exactly what happens when they get on the bus, when they meet with their friends, when they're, their first period, all their whole day is playing out for them. They need to continue that structure. So it's not just complete mayhem at home when they're sitting there playing on their phones, their iPads or tablets or watching TV all day. We've got to make sure that they have the structure and they know that there are certain boundaries around what's going on. When mom and dad got to work, mom and dad got to work. When they have to do their schoolwork, they got to do their schoolwork. So I definitely encourage block scheduling. And if you can print out a sheet that looks like a schedule from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. so that you have every hour covered, every half hour covered, you can just build in these blocks of, okay, here's when you're getting up. Here's when school time is, here's when work time is, here's when joint play time is, because everybody's gonna need a break to get outside, blow off the stink, and really just see something different. Stop staring at the computer screen and get things going. Being present really has to do with, hey, expect the unexpected. There's no rule book for this. We're trying to figure it out all as we go, and we're making these things up as we go, but in finding what works, what doesn't work, how other people are doing it. But realize they're going to need help with school. And obviously, you're going to have your work to do, but they're going to need help. They're going to have questions. They don't have their teacher to go to. And obviously, we're trying to fill that role. So staying present and being patient. Patience is key in all of this, making sure that you understand, hey, yeah, they're going to have questions. They're learning. That's the whole point of school. So I know you're trying to play teacher. You're trying to play coach and parent and everything else. We got to play with all of it and just be patient with each other. In being present as a parent, it's really setting the vision. What do you want this to look like? Instead of going into it without a plan or a vision of what you want this to look like, set up your day the night before. Make sure everybody kind of runs through, here's the schedule of what we're going to do tomorrow, how it's going to flow, when their math time is, when their literacy time is, social studies, when's gym time, run through their day so that they can see it, and make sure you honestly are setting time up for yourself before they even get up. That's my whole premise on Wake Up on Purpose is give yourself that hour before everybody else is up so that you can get in your mindfulness, your meditations, your breathing exercises. You just sitting down and have a cup of coffee in peace and quiet so that you can start your day off right. And then make sure that there's a proper bedtime, because without them going to bed, you have no distance from them. Give yourself that space so that you can set your day up for success and that you can be the present, productive, and purposeful parent that you need to be. I'm Dan Beldowitz, and you can check me out on Wake Up on Purpose.
Hello, moms across America. I'm Jamie Sabatini, and I'm a certified professional life coach, and I help people who are frustrated with where they've landed in life and want to make a change. Tonight, I am here to talk to you about productivity for moms who work. Maybe you work at home all the time, or maybe you have been sent home considering the current situation and your kids are home too. And you're wondering, how am I going to make this happen? How are we going to get this to work? And a sense of frustration may or may not be coming over to you, whether it's happening now or you're worrying about how it's going to happen. But I'm here with some tips on how to navigate this. Firstly, it's all about a routine, a schedule, and a plan. Okay? Set that routine. Make that alarm clock go off. Be committed to it. And I'm talking about wake up time and bedtime. Okay? Your kids are used to a schedule. You're used to a schedule. Secondly, set a schedule. Everyone in the house set a to-do list based on priorities of what's most important right now. What's most important now may be different than what was most important last week or the week before. We need to think about what's important now. Set the to-do list, set the priorities, number them. Work together, co-create with your children. Have them set lists, you set lists, and your spouse set lists. Then what you do is you work together and you compare them. You see where there might be conflict and where there could be connectivity, all right? You take that and you put that on the calendar and you chart it out. Each person will have an individual calendar that you could either put on a wall, you could use in a Google shared document, you can use paper and pencil, whatever works best for your family, but post it, share it, and discuss it. So this way everyone understands, everyone agrees. If there's disagreement, work through it, make changes, okay? You could do this for the day, you could do this for a couple of days, or you could set it for the week. Depends on what would work best for you and your family. Once everyone is in agreement, everyone understands what the priorities are, what needs to be done, and when it needs to get done. Okay. Now the how it's going to get done. You need to set up working environments for everyone that works, and what works for one may not work for all. So Johnny might need quiet, whereas Susie might need background music. And you might need, your door closed, or you might like to be multitasking in action, and your spouse might need it a different way. We need to identify that, and we need to set up these environments for success. Okay. Once we do that, we need to come together and we need to make sure everyone's clear on what the boundaries are, the privacy, the space, how to handle an emergency in the house, being that everyone's home at the same time, how to interrupt and when to interrupt a parent based on an emergency. What is an emergency and how do we communicate that? Last but not least, set intentional times for connection, whether it's at bedtime, mealtime, break time. So this way, everyone feels like they're moving through this together and they don't feel alone. If you're being, removed from your normal environments, you're already going to feel alone and that things are not right. So we want to create as much normalcy and create as much known for the family as possible. Okay. We want to set intentional times to connect: mealtime, bedtime, story time, movie time, outside time, music time, whatever that looks like for your family. You want to be very intentional about it. In these times of the unknown and a lot of fear, kids need to know that their family is there. They need to be able to count on them. They need to feel the energy. They need to feel the love. They need to feel the connection. We cannot go a day that we don't express that and share that with our children and as a family. And guess what? We need it too. Okay. Last but not least, at the end of the day, please be sure to share with your family and have them share with you what was your high for the day and what was your low for the day. Gratitude is a great upward spiral, a direction for positivity and happiness. And then the low allows everyone to get a feeling of where you are and an opportunity to provide support where it could be best used at this time. So please adopt a family concept of creativity and for sharing and connectedness and bonding. And this will definitely help you through this time to be much more successful as a team instead of trying to, work through this individually. Thank you so much for your time. And I hope that I wish you all the best in health and wellness. And thank you so much. Best to you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jenny Wiley. I'm the Director of Community for IPEC Coaching. IPEC is based out of New Jersey, and so I already work remotely. So the things that are happening right now are not a huge adjustment for us, but it's an interesting time for sure. So our kids are Penny, she's 9, and Orion is 7. And they are on spring break right now, but we actually just got the call from our Board of Education in Kansas. They are shutting down schools for the rest of the school year. So we will have quite a few more adjustments that we're going to be making. But in order for me to stay productive right now in running the community that I do, having my dedicated office in our basement is super helpful. It has a door on it. It can control sound as much as I can, and keeping my headset in is important to me as well. Helps me to keep out any outside noise. One of the things that I run into problem-wise is bandwidth for the Wi-Fi when the kids are home. And so a way that I like to handle that is we set up kind of a schedule at the beginning of the day, and I'll have some screens off time that we schedule. So we have an Alexa show. And so I will talk with the kids in the morning and let them know, here's the screens off time. Usually it'll be around 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. or something like that. And I'll set the reminders on Alexa so that the kids know what time they need to be turning their screens off. And that helps them to think of other creative ways to entertain themselves and also make sure that I get the full bandwidth for important meetings that I have in the middle of the day. So that has helped out a lot. The other thing that I like to do is incorporate my mom, their grandma, who lives here in town, but we're not able to see her right now because she is in the compromised group for health concerns. And so we have her with an Alexa show also. And so we'll do a check-in in the morning where they get to see each other. The kids and grandma get to see each other and talk about what they're going to do during the day. And then we check in later in the evening. And that gives them some kind of outside accountability. Also, the kids aren't just telling me what they were doing. They tell my grandma, their grandma too. And it brings her into the mix and everything and helps everyone to feel more connected. And then that way I know that they're getting that extra love, and it helps me to stay more focused on my work during the day. The other thing that I like to do just for myself, I have all sorts of things that help me stay focused. Sometimes in meetings, if I'm on a video call, this is like, I'll paint my nails because it helps me to not get distracted by all of the things that are happening on my screen sometimes. Staying focused and listening and drawing or using different things like thinking putty are super helpful to help me stay focused. And then also one of the things that I like to do to build camaraderie with my team is I have silly things like a cowbell for celebrating, ready to go here. And so if something awesome happens, I'll shake it, and so that helps me to stay focused too. And feel more connected to my team. And so that's my main tips for working from home and helping the kids to stay focused and out of my way and me out of their way. So hopefully this helps, and I'd love to hear some other people's tips.
Thanks for listening to this episode of More Than a Parent. To be your more, live your and.
Continue the conversation and connect at facebook.com/groups/more than a parent.